Welcome back to the channel, folks. I'm your host, Fogg. Thank you for joining another episode. And today, we're finally getting back to the IGT. I do apologize. We didn't cover these games the day they came out, and that was due to me being at GDC down in San Francisco, the Game Developer Conference, and just everything that goes around that. There's planning that goes into the show, and then when you get done with that show for that entire week, you've got follow-up and all that stuff. So it's been quite busy, but there were two games that came out during that time, and they actually came out on the same day. I'm not 100% sure if they came out Wednesday, and I believe that was like either the 24th or the 25th or something like that. I wasn't here to see when they came out, but I did get a chance to see Arcade 1UP and the Infinity Game Table at GDC. They were showcasing the tables, talking to developers, so that was good to see. There wasn't really anything notable to come out and talk about in terms of that, especially since, they're just talking with a ton of developers there as they come by, trying to get more support for the table, which it was great to see them there with the device. So I'm super happy about that. Glad to see that they're definitely making a push to get developers onto the device and really get going forward. But the games that did come out during that time were two kind of, I would call them utility / games, right? In some ways, they've been available so much in so many PCs that you buy just by default through Microsoft that, seeing them make it to here, it's not really super exciting, but it might be interesting for some folks in terms of like little kids or just things like that. The first was GT Draw. So GT Draw, simple drawing program with plenty of little options, different things like that you can go through and change colors and make different thicknesses of the lines and erase things and draw pictures and all sorts of stuff there. Came out at 99 cents, so definitely low end, not a ton of money for that one, and it was an easy entry point. But it's you pay for what you get. There's not a ton of it there in terms. So the other one was Minesweeper, or Minesweep in this case, $3.99. Very similar to Minesweeper. There's not a huge difference. It's the same thing that you probably would have expected from Minesweeper, or Sweep in this case, that you would see on PCs back in the day that came just preloaded. It was the game that was available. So let's take a look at both of them. We're going to start with GT Draw first. That one, again, just very basic in terms of like giving you capabilities of drawing. Sorry, dog hair everywhere on this table. You have your grid design. You've got, obviously, you can go back to your dashboard and you've got your start. So in start, you can kind of select what you want it to look like. You could have like a little border around it with like, looks like leaves or different colors or wood, looks like a chalkboard, or even just like maybe a drawing table kind of design. So we'll go with the chalkboard. Here you really start to see more of the features that you have. You have your ability to go back home. You can save and load, which is kind of a nice feature, right? In the sense of you got some small kids or you're doing the project yourself and you want to save it and got to go do something because the cat's going to jump on the table and screw it up. You can do that. You can erase all. You can undo your last point where you were touching. You have some volume. You've got your size of your different pencils or markers, so you can go very thin, medium, kind of super bold, and then massive, right? Like chalk, I guess, design. And then you've got your chalk drawing piece or your pen, and then you've got your eraser. So, just simple things. For 99 cents, you're not going to expect too much out of this, right? You can then erase at the same thickness, or you can go up and get thicker lines to erase, or you can just do erase all. You can, draw on any real design. I'm going to try here. It's been a long time. Whoop. Oh, I got to choose the pen. It's been a long time since I've done any kind of drawing. Let's try that again. I don't know. I'm not even sure what we're going to get here. This is one I used to draw with a friend of mine. I forget what we called them. Right, but you can get like a little drawing in. Kids can come in and just kind of play with it. Draw any items that they want on there. So it's kind of nice, and then you can just, like I said, undo certain parts. I think you can only go back like maybe 2 steps. Yeah, it looks like it. You'll see when, like, I'll just draw something here. You can see it's got like, okay, we're gray and white, now we're all white, so we can go back 2 different steps here by 1 and 2, and then that's it. You can't go any further. Then you gotta erase everything. But that's basically the program. Something fun for 99 cents. You kind of think, well, maybe you could have just included that. I know they're trying to, obviously bring things to the table that make developers money. They obviously talked about that at their booth. This is an actual table where you can sell your games on it. So there's obviously a drive to make money. But for a utility like that, which that's what it is, might have been nice to see it be free. Not really a reason to pay for it. So we'll jump out of there. Now we'll take a look at Minesweep. So again, Minesweep, not super special in that sense. It looks nice, right, for a Minesweeper title, but in general, it's Minesweep. There's nothing really different to it. Here's your settings up here. You do have a nice rumble feature that they've incorporated. They are at least utilizing that. There's no online play, so it's not really taking full functionality together in this, but there's some. How to play, goes through, talks about how the game works. You have your dashboard, you have your sound effects and your music. You can go back here. You've got basic layout for classic, where it's just single player playing against the board itself, or you can do between 1 and 6 players, but down here is the 2 to 6 players option. So if we just go into classic, you're basically trying to uncover all the batches of sand, avoid the mines, and then you have like little flags that you can put in if you think something contains a mine. I've never been amazing at this game, or even thought I was any good at this game. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd rather have like Sudoku. That makes more sense than this one. I know it's probably kind of, in a way, you use similar logic, but in Sudoku it's a little bit different with the numbers. I like that more. I'm glad that's on here too. But you have 70 mines on the board. It's a fairly large board. You have 20, you have your timer counting up and down. You've got your little flags that you can hit, and you can just put a flag in the sand, so to speak, and it'll stay there. And then when you want to get rid of that, you can just tap on it again. So you've got, I usually start in the corners. Essentially how Minesweeper works. Here's a perfect example. You've got ones all the way around this one block. So that means there's one mine in the vicinity, and since it's basically hidden off on its own here, or kind of walled off, we know for a fact that that's a mine. That's how you kind of think about this. So right here between these two, there's one mine. But then here on that one, there's 2 mines in the vicinity, and there's 2 mines that touch this number. So that's kind of how it works. Whatever square has a number, there's a mine associated within either diagonal or straight on, as far as I'm aware. So here, for example, my guess would be like there's a 1 here, there's a 1 there. The mine is probably like right there, so I can tap on this one and there's no problem. So the mine is like right there. I know that because there's a 1 here. That means it's touching it. You see how that worked? We touched it, blew up, there was a 1 next to it. That's kind of how you get the idea. You also have this magnifying glass which you can tap that shows you the board where the mine was when it blew up. You can go back, you can see game over. We can just hit home, we can go back in. Similar idea. I always start in the corner. So you can see there's mine touching 1 of these. There's 2 here, there's 1 there. My guess again is that you're probably going to be okay here, and you're probably going to be okay here. So there's still a mine in this vicinity. It's like right there, or with this one it could be here or here. I just tapped that one, we got lucky, but it could have been there as well. So that's kind of how it goes, and you do that until you clear the entire board. I've never really done that because, again, not too good at it, but I do know like that's a mine right there, so we could put a flag in. We can go boom, don't touch that one. If you do touch it, again, it just takes the flag away. You don't accidentally knock it over, or you don't accidentally tap on it. So, and you can see we're finding our mine. So we know that there was 69, now we're down to, or 70, now we're down to 69. And that's how you go and play that. The multiplayer mode, simply is you just take turns, right? You're playing survival. You can play survival or not, but basically you just go, and I'm player 1. Now it's player 2's turn. So player 2, up, they're out. Player 3, right? They're going to go in. Okay, there's 2 here. Now it's player 4's turn. Player 4's out. Now we're down to player 1 again. So now there's 4 around that one. But it's just between player 1 and 3 because the other 2 died. And you just keep playing. So player 1 won because everybody else got knocked out. So that's how your multiplayer Minesweep goes. General, it's not a bad game, right? If you like Minesweeper, it's kind of nice to have it on there. Yes, most PCs came with it for free, but $3.99 is not, especially for no ads or anything like that, it's not unrealistic. But again, it's not a super amazing game either. There's not really any kind of IP associated to it. It's fairly simplistic. You know, could it have been $1.99? Probably. Should it have been? Probably. But $3.99, if you have the table and you have family members that like the game, you know, $3.99 is something you can just drop and start playing when people are visiting or something like that. You're not going to sit there and question it for an $850 table, but for an $850, $900 table, whatever it is, certain games you kind of maybe think that they would be a little bit cheaper or at least come free. Who knows? We'll talk about business models and things like that in the future. Again, I have some thoughts on what they might do with tables and what they might do with the table and the deals that they do with games and some options that they might be able to make for people that have the table that can get in on a low price point, like monthly, like a subscription. I know people hate that, but there's ideas that you could do with that. It's very simple. It's probably everybody's thought about it, but yeah, I like kind of buying games outright as well, so I'm a little bit mixed on it. But in general, 2 games there. We had a little bit of a lull. Now we've got a couple new games available. That's great. Happy to see them still doing the trade shows and things like that, like a GDC, talking to developers, getting more support. Hopefully we'll see the fruit of that labor, you know, kind of come to the table as we get into the mid part of the year. Start seeing more, maybe even mobile titles coming over. That's a simple thing. It's an easy port. There's a little bit of work that's got to be done, and they can get mobile games onto the platform. It's just, can they make money with them? That's the big thing. So appreciate everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Sorry again that it was late. We'll be back on track for the next games that come out. It's just a rough time of the year for you know, being part of the games business and trying to get some stuff done. Happy that we've gotten our ability to monetize. If you haven't seen that on the channel, I'm going to link to a video now that you can check out where we talk about it. It wasn't really about the monetization. It was just kind of driving us nuts that the name, the old name, which we can't say, it's like Voldemort, was causing us not to be able to move forward with YouTube. And it's not really like there's a lot of money involved here. It's just the fact of the matter is we had to change the name to Factor of Games now to be able to kind of see the channel grow. It was weird. So that's how that goes. Not throwing a fit about it. Just, again, if you want to check out why, just click on the video link, check it out. We appreciate it. It was just us kind of chit-chatting about it. There's not a lot of in-depth, like, analysis or anything like that. We just kind of knew, and 3 days later, once we changed the name, they approved everything, and everything was all good. So water under the bridge to YouTube. So not mad at them, but just in general, kind of, it was weird. But appreciate everybody for watching. Definitely, if you haven't already, give the new channel, which is still the old channel, a subscribe if you haven't. We'd love to have you come back. Check out Factor of Games and see more of the stuff that we talk about in the games industry. Again, we'll be talking more and more about the games industry in a different way than we have in the past, because, you know, it's something interesting. Both Scott and I who are on the channel, you know, we have a connection to that and we work in it, so we might as well talk a little bit about it and enjoy part of what we do with everybody else that watches our videos and enjoys what they see. So again, we do appreciate it. Give us a like if you like the video. Definitely share it with somebody that's interested or maybe hasn't picked up one of the tables yet. If they have, definitely share it there as well, because we go through each game. We kind of showcase them before people have hopefully have bought them, so that way they know if it's something worth buying or not. Because again, as we continue to say, Infinity Game Table, Arcade 1-Up really doesn't have a strong stance on refunds, which is unfortunate. So we'd like just everybody to see what the games look like and kind of be part of that problem-solving component. So hopefully people get an idea of what they're getting into. So that's it, folks. Appreciate your time. Hope you're doing well. Look forward to talking to you again real soon. And thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.